Hang on, I gotta kill my YouTube volume. There we go.
Good Friday to everyone out there in internet land. Two random dudes here with you for the Weekend Big Show. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. He's ruler of the airways, Jeremy Schroeder. We're talking sports with you for the next hour, maybe a little bit longer. We never can really keep a good clock. Not like our old radio days in Seymour, Texas, as we were on a strict clock there. Jeremy Schroeder, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing okay. For now.
For
It's
now?
not Saturday yet, so for now. It's not
Okay.
Saturday yet. Saturday's pretty bad, then Sunday's
It could be
usually
rough. We're going to
good.
go over a lot of stuff, but I tell you one good thing about Friday is I got to see Cam Newton in his big Arby's hat on First Take.
Oh, good Lord.
That is so ridiculous. We are streaming live on YouTube, on our YouTube channel at Law Dog Sports, and we want to thank Steve Anderson and Dan Narva checking in already. They are our faithful super fans, and we really appreciate them. And Jeremy, the wind is really cool out of the north this morning, and leaves are starting to really kind of fade away. It's too dry and too many wildfires out here in western Oklahoma. But one thing that I do take solace in, and you hear that rumble, you hear that crackle.
I do.
Christmas
Oh.
cakes are back.
You gonna make some videos about it with Matt Mitchell?
Some Little Debbie Christmas cakes. And I don't know if you can get up a little closer on your mic. I'm having a little hard time hearing you.
Right.
Yeah,
I need
something
a boom.
like that. But anyways, Christmas, and also to even throw a little more logs on the fire, Highland Eggnog was available at our local retailer the other day. So yours truly picked up a quart of it.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah,
Put
I'm
some
gonna-
lighter fluid in that, or maybe a little gin, or
Yeah,
I don't know what the procedure is. I don't drink eggnog.
I'm going to be in the festive, they used to say rum, I guess, but I think Jameson goes pretty well in it. And you notice the hat, if I want to pick up some Jameson, it would probably
There you go.
good chance Marty Wandry at Clinton Liquor. But hopefully some folks are joining us other than our super fans, which we do appreciate them. But we did put out a post saying that we would be switching over to YouTube Live. And we will try to do that really just to get away from all kind of the nonsense I think we were experiencing with the social network platform. And Mr. Z and his all-time control. I don't want him controlling things that I do. And really, to test this out, Jeremy, I'm gonna throw out a real quick bumper, and just to see if it gets copyrighted by YouTube. Little Demolition Man by the Police, Ghost in the Machine, 1983, maybe? 81.
You probably shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. Well, if they don't copyright the music, they'll copyright the words. No,
Yeah, we'll see. I think if you ever watch any Rick Beato's stuff on this platform,
yeah.
there's only a certain artist that will even deal with that. Most
Yeah.
of them are cool with it, so hopefully that's a deal.
Well,
It has some bumper music.
What's funny is one time we did an episode when we were on the air in Seymour, Wichita Falls, and I think I used Google Voice to dial someone up, and the dial tone went out over the stream, and then I got a copyright warning from Facebook saying that we had infringed on somebody's, licensing. And I looked at it. We had played only the bumpers that we play, which were given to us by a local band, the Stockyard Playboys. And only thing I could find that they said it was some rapper, and there was push button tones for the phone in his rap, I guess. I was like, you can't copyright the push tones.
I guess so. Maybe you
dial
should have done
phone.
Funky Town on that thing.
All right, we've got a lot to get into, but I am in the festive spirit as I've got football tonight, I-40 showdown tonight between Elk City and the Weatherford Eagles, and getting pumped up for that. And the weather's turning. It feels like football, but down in the Grove, Jeremy, well, really, what do you want to tackle first? This episode is titled "Jeremy's Already Scoping Out Parade Routes."
Let's
can dive
let's
into
rip
some
the Band-Aid off first.
You want to rip the Band-Aid off? All
Let's
right.
rip the
So
Band-Aid
OU
off.
football. as they traveled down to Oxford to take on Ole Miss. And last spread we saw was 20. You said that hadn't moved. I've got
20 and a hook.
20 and a hook. Wow.
20 and a hook.
Was it on our college football pick'em? Yeah, there it is.
It was. Yeah.
It's 20 and a hook on there too. So, Jeremy, you'll be mad at me. I took Ole Miss on that.
I think I did too. I don't remember. I'd have to look. They'll get their 20 points. I don't care how well OU plays. By the end of the game, they'll be worn out, and Ole Miss will pull away.
Yeah.
No matter, even if they play well.
Well, and I was looking at it, and we've joked for the last, 4 years about Iowa having really good defense and not really any offense. Those teams held in there.
Yeah.
Maybe they got blew out by Ohio State or something like that. But
I think our main complaint about their offenses is they were just boring. They weren't incompetent.
Well, they weren't scoring.
Yeah, but they were just
But
hang on,
obviously-
run the football and keep the defense off the field.
And don't turn it over.
Sure.
And I mean, if they want to do that tomorrow, that's what it's going to take. Is you're just going to have to, 2 out of 3 downs, give it to Barnes or Tatum. I don't. If you don't want to be embarrassed there tomorrow, then that's what you have to do.
Maybe they could play Bauer Sharp and Jake Roberts at guard since they want for some reason they keep scheming them to block big guys, which is just Bauer Sharp's about the same size as Jackson Arnold, so
Yeah.
I don't understand what that's about. They last week against South Carolina, he had 2 elite edge rushers, and they're running motion blocking and fits with tight ends trying to block those guys. It just doesn't work.
No, and we'll see. I think the consensus is, and once Lane Kiffin has spoke out on it, it's gospel. But apparently, nobody's expecting just a whole bunch of change with Joe John Finley calling the plays, because they're not going to be able to implement that much change.
Well, they're still running the same scheme. They're still that Bryles Levy tree scheme that I don't think any of them know how to run, unless I don't recall watching Baylor be so incompetent up front with their blocking schemes, which is part of the offensive schemes. And this team is it's either a severe lack of talent, or we can't put guys in good position to make blocks.
If the talent is that much of a drop off, then who needs to fade some heat.
Oh, that's true. Injuries
and I
take
know
part.
OU fans defend Bill Beadenbow to the nth degree, but I mean, he's on the hook for a bit of this. It's his unit that's failing everyone.
Well, definitely, but he's got some guys coming in that they can hold this class together that are going to be.
Who knows if they can? Yeah. I mean, this is the era of NIL and quick and easy change. And I mean, okay, I'm slated to probably start as a freshman, but I don't know. I mean,
all indications is they're still holding solid. So
yeah,
let's try to be positive about that. This year was going to be tough, anyways. College football news has Oklahoma going 6-6. See that?
Yeah. Who's that second win besides Maine?
Starts with an M.
Yeah, I thought that last night, but I mean,
I know, and they've been playing bad too.
You talk about a program that's going to be fired up. I mean,
Oklahoma's asses better be fired up.
Well, Missouri's just going to smell blood in the water.
Well, maybe.
And
I don't know if they recognize that smell with the history of that program, Chuck. I mean, people talk about Missouri like they've been this good team. We grew up with Missouri just getting housed in the old Big 8
and
in the Big 12. They had 2 years in the Big 12 where they were relevant, about as many years in the SEC.
Yeah.
Still no conference championships.
They did play for an SEC championship when they had that one guy that was a defensive end.
Yeah. Michael Sam. You can say his name. It's
I forgot it. That wasn't a
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. That wasn't a slap at him. It was just I could not remember his name.
Well, somebody had to win the SEC. Was it the West?
No,
somebody
they were
had
East.
to win the SEC West at the time.
No, it was the East. They were in. That's how bad the East was 10 years ago.
Yeah. So you had Oh God, yeah, it was bad. It
Yeah,
was
Georgia
everybody
was
was in the
Mark
West.
Richt.
You had LSU, Alabama,
Florida was going through who Muschamp at the time.
might have been Muschamp
Tennessee
or
had who did Tennessee have?
oh my gosh, Butch Jones.
Yeah, it might have been him. But yeah. Hey, the microphone might work down sitting down. If you'll just speak a little louder, because I know it's got to be a pain in the butt to
No,
hold.
it's fine.
Are you sure?
That's fine. It's not that
I'm going
heavy.
to send you an arm. I've got a microphone arm.
Yeah, I need to. That's why I definitely need one. I was uh, contemplating that, looking for him. See what happens.
Well, we'll see what
Mount
the
it
old
somewhere so I
Ramsey
can.
we'll see what the Ramsey Broadcasting supply room has that we can help you out with. Uh,
Fantastic.
so, anyways, well, it's just one of those things where I look at this Ole Miss team, and honestly, I mean, with Lane Kiffin, the parts are interchangeable. I mean, he's got the quarterback, I guess, he wants Jackson Dart. Um, he's a very talented quarterback, but I don't, will we bring the heat? Will we make him uncomfortable? I don't know. I mean,
They will for at least a quarter.
yeah, yeah,
That's what they've been good for this year until they get completely demoralized by the offense.
yeah. Well, let's go ahead and hear a bite from Brent Venables in his press conference this week talking about that offense.
How long have I been here? 2.5 years. And I don't want to sound defensive, but I just don't want to change the what the facts were. We've been an abomination on offense this year, but year one and year two I think we're pretty good, and one of the best in the country. So I got perspective on what did happen, and there's a lot of things you can go down the list, but I think you can have both.
Talking about balance amongst defense and offense, there is head coach of the Sooners, Brent Venables. Jeremy, he's not on the hot seat. You can't
No.
you can't buy him out for $45 million right now. Just like at USC, they can't buy out Lincoln for $90 million.
Well, they need to give him a chance to right the ship. You brought him here
Yeah.
because you thought he was the right guy. You gave him all that money.
Well, I mean, you're coming off of a 10-win season, and
Yeah. And,
yeah,
and people still believe in Brent. I mean, there's the ignorant majority that seem to be the loudest that are calling for his head. People that are calling for his job that don't understand, financials. Like, you're not going to buy this guy out for 45 million if you didn't want to pay 50 to leave the Big 12.
yeah,
Do you agree with that?
yeah, I can get down with that.
Okay. Well, I have several friends that I frequent the gym with that
Yeah.
they pay from behind the paywall. I'm not going to say which site, but they're they confided in me that they knew this was a problem in the spring. They knew this was a problem leading into the season, but you can't fire a guy right away.
So
You
what
can't
what are
hire a
you
guy and then turn around and fire him.
you're talking about the offensive?
Yes, the
Uh,
entire scheme.
yeah. So
You
I
just got to
mean,
put a good face on it and hope it can improve. But they waited,
there's
and
no chance of that. I mean,
no, it's.
you've
But
sunk
I
the
mean,
boat.
what does that look like for the program if this is my guy,
Well,
and
yeah,
then after 3 weeks of spring practice, like nope, we're done, we're moving on.
yeah. Honestly, in hindsight now, and it's always 2020, but I mean, do you think that bowl game against Arizona was kind of a blip on the radar? Or is that who Seth Luttrell is? I mean, it was a terrible scheme. There was some good performance, but I mean, just chunking the ball constantly and giving Arizona opportunity after opportunity. It was looking back, it's like, man, how did we not see this coming?
Outside of the 3 interceptions, uh, that game was competitive.
Hmm.
Jalou Farouk kept turning the ball over. You can't really scheme that out of somebody.
No, but what were those plays he was turning it over on?
Well, he did turn it over on a catch over the middle.
Wasn't there a jet sweep involved also?
No, 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 no. It
That
wasn't
was
a jet
in.
sweep. It was a zone straight handoff to a 170-pound receiver in the backfield.
Okay, I mean, I don't mean to get technical here, but I mean, if the receiver's in motion and the quarterback
He
gets it,
wasn't in motion. He was standing in the backfield because I
okay,
remember
so
flipping
you
out
put him
about
at
it when
running
it
back,
happened.
and
Yeah,
all right. Well, I mean, so I get that, and I don't know. It's just it was a
but I
bad.
mean, at that point, and sorry, at that point, you're looking at him trying to implement someone else's scheme, someone
Yeah.
else's ideas, style into what he likes to do. So
Well, I
you
mean,
kind of can't take a whole lot from that game.
I feel bad for Seth Luttrell because his trajectory has spiraled downward just solidly. I mean, you build up, you get a shot at a mid-major, you have some success at North Texas, and then you don't have success, and then they let you go. And
Mm-hmm.
then you find a spot, back home, and then you get your shot, and it's just blown. I mean, I kind of feel bad for the guy, but there had to have been better ways to know we've got issues on the line. We've got to do more in the portal. I mean, and that falls on the entire staff.
Well, they've done plenty in the portal. The portal is
They
we've
didn't do
talked about
well.
this. Well, no, but you shouldn't. Okay,
Go
this
ahead.
you
No, I
should
mean
not.
you are the
You get
typical OU fan that sees a
no,
silver lining around
no.
everything.
I'm not seeing a
Go
silver
ahead,
lining.
rattle me.
The portal to build a starting offensive line is not the way to go. Develop, recruit, and develop.
Yes,
Oh,
but
we're thin at this spot. Let's grab a guy out of the portal. You cannot rely on the damn portal for
um,
your starting left tackle, your starting right tackle, your starting right guard, your starting goddamn center.
yeah.
I mean, you got 4 out of. I get that they replaced 4 out of 5 or 5 starting offensive linemen from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Who are the guys behind them? Why aren't
Yeah.
they developed?
Yeah.
Why? Because of Bill Beatonbow. Bill
Why are
Beatonbow
they? Yeah.
has been a fine coach. I do not know what is going on with him right now.
I
Can he
just
not
think
teach this scheme?
I
Is
don't
that
know.
it?
I don't know.
Because once Levy grew a brain 2 years ago and went away from zone runs, the line drastically improved. Maybe that's Beatonbow.
Well, let me ask you this, and you know, if we know that the offensive line is the issue, and we know, I mean, granted, injuries to your entire wide receiver core, I don't know, nobody can game plan for that. But obviously, when your quarterback has no time to try to find those young, inexperienced wide receivers, that's a huge issue. So, why is Seth on the hook for that?
Because he's the boss of the offense. They gave him the
Beatonbow,
key. They gave him the
Beatonbow
keys
has
to it.
quite a bit of sovereignty over that offensive line, and they are the worst
Well,
unit on the field.
the tight ends are the worst unit on the field, but
I don't know. I mean,
yeah,
you got tight
yeah,
ends expected to
yeah.
go block, so
Well,
block,
I
like you
mean,
said.
outside of what the last 2 games, we haven't seen the same starting offensive line unit all year
Yeah, well, the
through
last 2 games
injuries.
have been
Through
probably the worst.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
know.
really.
Well, yeah, I mean there were times in the Auburn game where the line looked
Yeah, I mean, it's
almost average.
and how the I saw some power rankings and Dan Narva checking in. Let's try this again. Happy Friday, guys. Sorry, technical difficulty properly identifying myself in the chat. Well, okay, we know who you are. So, anyways,
He had a different screen name. You knew it. I had
he's
no
got a
idea.
lot of he's got a lot of troll accounts. He's out there trumping it up. Oh goodness. But no, here's the thing. And I saw some power rankings that had OU 16th and Auburn 15th. It's like, okay.
You can't really do that, can you?
No.
No.
You lost
Are
at
you
home.
kidding me?
So anyways, so the Auburn game right now, you would have to say, Jeremy, is a bit of an aberration to what the whole thing's been all season, because Hawkins looked good
Sure.
in that game. He's looked terrible in 2 straight games, and I don't blame the kid. I still go by what I saw in the tape on that Aaron Murray YouTube clip. Is He got a quick release. And I'll just say this: I say we, as fans of the Oklahoma University football program, we've had to deal with these offensive schemes that just seem to really want to dial up the 16-point play all the
Sure.
time. Can you agree with me on that?
Well, yeah, from Lincoln Riley's bag of trick plays to Jeff Levy, I mean, calling a trick play
Yeah.
just out of the blue for no reason other than to call a trick play.
But even with just the basic, offensive scheme, I mean, I don't know. I've seen good and bad quarterbacks on both college and pro levels this week. The bad ones won't hit the check down. The good ones do. And,
Well, and you're right about that. But here's the thing: how good is Dylan Gabriel playing? Not throwing 10 to 15, deep shots every game, checking the
yeah,
ball down, getting the
and
ball to playmakers. How good has he been?
it seems like I remember a tweet that went out last year that said would love to have a mid-range passing game while
I
Dylan Gabriel was behind center.
I remember sending that tweet.
Yeah, that was you.
Crossing routes and mid-range passing game. Let's hit some tight ends. And who has been the worst group on the field the last 3 years for Oklahoma on offense, besides the offensive line?
Yeah,
Tight ends, because we don't know how to use them.
No, and I see it on all three levels of football. When you've got, I mean, it's kind of like, I hate to equate it to basketball, but what do they do when there's a switch on the defense and you've got a 6'3" guy trying to guard a 6'10" guy down the block?
Rock them to sleep.
You get him down, get the ball down on the block. And
Yeah, that's right.
if you've got any sort of mismatch,
Back him down, put it in.
I mean, utilize that. And if your quarterbacks aren't spotting that soon enough, you've got serious issues. But are you okay with them going with Jackson Arnold again this week?
I'm fine with that. I'm critical of every quarterback that's played at OU. I was even critical of Baker Mayfield his first season.
Sure.
There was nothing to be critical of Kyler Murray about, because I mean that's about as well as you can play. Jackson and Hawkins have been put in an untenable situation
Sure.
by a coordinator that was not ready for whatever this is. And you have scheme changes, you have offensive line changes, you don't have anybody to throw the daggum ball to. I guess this Jordan kid, he looked good last week, but now teams know about him, so
Yeah.
here we go. But there's a kid on the team, oh boy, man, what's his name? Zion Kearney.
Mm-hmm.
Zion Kearney.
Yeah.
He's played 84% of the offensive snaps, and he has like 3 catches.
Yeah. He's
Hey,
out there
what's he doing out there?
running routes. Well, I just
He's
hope
just out
that
there for cardio, I guess.
I just hope that with the development and kind of some of the familiarity that, you go back to Arnold, that maybe a few of the little easy things will kind of come to pass and get some sort of positivity out of the offense. You can hope, but I don't know.
You got to scheme easy throws for these kids. They're still young. Jackson's a true sophomore. Burned his red shirt last year to help the team. Burned his red shirt this year to help the team. Scheme him some easy completions. Get his confidence up, and then do other stuff. That's
Yeah.
the same thing they did. Cale Gundy understood that when he took over for Muleshoe, when Bob Stoops led the OU to the victory over Oregon in was that the Holiday Bowl? No, the
Yeah.
Alamo Bowl.
Well, yeah, Alamo.
Scheme him easy completions. Get his confidence up, and then he's gonna make plays.
Well, Joel Klatt talking about the Oklahoma offensive coordinator search, and he says, you've got to think outside the box. One thing that is a drawback, but it doesn't seem to affect Mike Gundy, is when you find your guy. He mentioned how Urban Meyer, Mike Bellotti hiring Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Or Ryan Day being hired by Urban Meyer, things like that.
He was a position coach in the NFL, if I remember right.
Yeah, they had some equity in their position. He doesn't feel like Venables has that, but also, if the buyout's $45 million this year, what is it next year? 35, 30.
Yeah, right. He's not going anywhere for a couple years.
No, his contract's going to play on out,
and as long as there's that 10-win season in there, and then him winning 6 games with a very, 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 very talentless roster his first year, he's got some equity. But you also remember, you hire an offensive coordinator, he comes in and makes a lot of hay in his first 2 years. That's a rental. They're gone.
Yeah. I don't know. One thing about going like the FCS or, the name that's not on the radar is, they come in and make some hay. You could at least get 2 or 3 years out of them, right?
Sure.
Are we really to that point now where a guy comes
It's
in from a no-name school, has one great year at a blue blood or a Power Five, Power Four, and then he's gone. I mean,
I don't think we're there yet because Levy had good seasons at Ole Miss.
mhm.
He had good seasons at UCF. He had two, relatively good seasons at Oklahoma. And then and he'd probably still be here had, there not been a photo taken after the ESMU game last year on the field with the cert CAB.
Well, but
Because I want to believe that he could have got a better job than Mississippi State
I
if
mean,
he had hung around.
they're in the SEC, and it just means more, Jeremy.
But it's Mississippi State. I
It's,
get it.
I mean,
Leach took it because he just wanted to get the heck out of Pullman, But
speaking of Mississippi State, did you see the Mike Leach swing your sword helmets that they're going to play this week?
I haven't seen it, but I'll look at it. I bet they're
Yeah,
fantastic.
when you get a chance, look that up because it's going to. I think it's got the flag and the Jolly Roger on it.
Man, that is so cool.
Yeah.
I almost ordered a Mississippi State the state hoodie that he wore just as tribute to Leach because everyone loves Leach on this program.
Oh yeah. Did you see North Carolina State quarterback Grayson McCall has retired from football?
I did. Concussion.
That's one of the worst hits I've ever seen. Reaction. I guess post-hit reaction. I mean,
is it the helmet with the flag on it like Tampa's?
Let's see. M-I, crooked letter, I, crooked letter, I, humpback, I.
Oh my God.
That's from the show Alice back in the 70s. Swing your sword.
I mean, I'm old, but you're losing me here.
Shut up. Let's see. It is. Where's the images? Yeah, so I can see the T-shirts. I'm not finding the helmet, but I know I saw it on Twitter that Mississippi State is wearing a tribute helmet to Mike Leach, which is outstanding to my name. Who I will say right here, right now, put him in the Hall of Fame. He may just be percentage points underneath the threshold, but that guy was amazing. So, Jeremy, real quick, give me 3 names you'd like to see on the Oklahoma offensive coordinator search.
Oh man,
We went out before we went on the air.
Yeah, Willie Corn from Liberty.
Now he doesn't. Does he like? Does he go along with everything at Liberty, or is he just there?
What's wrong with Liberty?
Yeah, what's wrong with Liberty? Yeah,
Jerry Falwell. Okay. Anyways,
you want the frogs?
Man.
You want the frogs or the locusts descending on Norman?
I'm just saying. Okay, if you're gonna go, small school OC Corn, the guy at Coastal Carolina has a pretty dynamic offense. His name escapes me right now, and I was just reading his bio before we went on the air. And
Anybody on the UNLV staff you want to look at?
I don't want that go-go offense in the SEC.
Oh,
I mean, it would be fun. I mean, yeah, Marion would be a really cool hire. It's just he's a Tulsa guy. It'd be neat. I don't know. I don't know about that one, but one name that keeps popping up, and when I talk to people, is Dan Mullen.
boy, that you threw that out at me last night. I mean, he's doing such a great job on ESPN, and he gets to go around and gloat over the programs that let him. Well, he left him Mississippi State, but I think he's gone back to Florida since he started his career.
But Dan Mullen's problem was never the offense.
No.
He likes to run a lot of single tight end, 3 receivers, get the quarterbacks run a little bit. I think that, and he knows the SEC.
What about some variation of the Rich Rod offense and go raid Jacksonville State?
Hell, maybe just bring Rich Rod over if we're going to go total retread.
What's he making there?
Well, I mean, I've also, G.J. Kinney's OC down there could be interesting.
What's the chances that Kevin Wilson gets the hook at Tulsa and maybe just bring him back?
Do you though? I think Brent learned his lesson on that.
Yeah, yeah.
I
But
don't
at
think he
least
wants to do that.
Wilson had a track record. Has a track.
I mean, if he left Oklahoma because they brought Mike back, I think he learned his lesson there. He's not going to maybe just not do that.
All right, let's go over some pick'ems, Jeremy, as we wrap up college football. Also, don't forget, and I hate to leave out our Polk fans, but who's OSU got this weekend? They, I know they have a game, don't they? They're past their bye week.
Oh, they've got the Baylor Bears.
Yeah, going to
Waco.
Waco. Are you surprised? I mean, I know Oklahoma State's struggling, but Bears are 6 and a hook on that.
I know.
I don't like that. I like Big Orange going down there and handling their business.
I picked the Cowboys because I don't think either team is any good.
Yeah.
I think Oklahoma State's just good enough with that running game and Ollie that if they utilize him.
Well, and I mean, you know, they're not going to be shuffling. Well, they can't shuffle quarterbacks.
Yeah, they got one guy that's healthy, and he's a wild card on being healthy.
Yeah, so Bowman gets in there and you know does his business. I wonder, going back to his Tech days, I wonder what his record is against Baylor. Did he quarter that Big 12 championship that they played Baylor? That was Spencer Sanders, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So Baylor, both teams 3-4, and you know, I'm telling you, Jeremy, Oklahoma State, they go down and drop this one against Baylor, and they've got Arizona State, TCU, and Texas Tech and Colorado left. They could be struggling. They may not be bowl eligible themselves.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I mean,
which is really weird considering they brought everybody back from last year.
Yeah. I mean, if they lose this one, I guess maybe at home versus Tech, I could see them. Arizona State's pretty salty. TCU's found new life, seemingly.
Yeah. Once Sonny got kicked out of the stadium.
Yeah, we fired him up.
Yeah.
This would be right back in 1997 if both major conference schools were bowl ineligible, and then Tulsa's terrible. I mean, it could be bad news.
Yeah. I mean, relatively.
All right. My pick'em, Jeremy, was so bad last week. Out of 25 picks, which we make on our Yahoo College Football Pick'em, I received 8 points.
Yeah, I got 11. It was a rough week.
Look at you.
I know, right? Well, listen, there's only one team worse than me picking, and that's you.
That is, there's no lies detected in that. I like tonight's games a lot. I like Boise to cover the 3.5 against UNLV, even though it's in Vegas. I think that running back Janty, whichever name however you say it, I think he's going to be a lot for the running Rebs to deal with. And then I've got Rutgers covering the 14.5.
You do?
Yeah, I don't like where USC is as a program right now. It's Friday night in LI. I really feel like there's going to be a lot of fan support for that Trojans team there tonight.
No, it'll be. I mean, there'll be a lot of Scarlet in the building. It just won't be USC Scarlet. Hey, before we move on, have you seen these videos going around where people dub in Mickey Mouse's voice over Lincoln Riley's when he's giving a press conference? No. Oh my God!
So anyway, tonight
I've got SC covering that. I don't know why I don't believe.
So there's money been going in on Rutgers apparently.
I don't know why I don't believe in Rutgers, but I never pick them. You know what? We're gonna change that pick.
Thing is, Rutgers.
The hater in me just took it.
Didn't Rutgers abuse Washington?
True.
I mean,
yeah. So how about Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech? What happened to Georgia Tech?
Boy, they beat Florida State and then they just kind of quit. I don't know.
But Virginia Tech, I've watched them. There's nothing special there.
Yeah.
10.5 points.
Yeah. Tonight's game, Louisville-Boston College. I think I took the Eagles to cover that 7. I don't know. Maybe just Louisville coming off of a tough game against Miami last week. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I
Is
mean,
Miami for real, or are they a fraud?
Miami is a product of the media.
Ooh.
I believe we've seen 2 games they should have lost that were handed to them.
But yeah, and we'll get into officiating also before we leave today. Real quick, some other games that I'm interested in. I want to see if the Fighting Brett Bielemas can go out to Eugene and cover that 21.5. But I've got Oregon on it.
I've got the Illini.
Yeah,
They're going to take the air out of the football.
and then I think I took Texas Tech to cover the 6. Let's see here.
Same.
Yeah. Is that what I'm looking at? Yeah, Texas Tech. They're getting.
So I should Costanza
right?
these picks you're throwing out, right? Just do the opposite.
Yeah, if you want to win, just stanza on me. Let's see.
That's UConn. The UConn Huskies and Rice.
I'll tell you who I will never bet against again, and these aren't really bets. This is just a contest we do on Yahoo. But Colorado, are they giving 4.5? This Yahoo. Let me see. Okay, now
It's 5.5.
Okay, so they're giving 5.5, and Cincinnati coming off of a walloping of who'd they beat last week? I forget. Come on, man, we're covering Big 12 here.
Yeah, I'm not paying attention to the Big 12 that much. Hang on, I'm efforting it.
Hey, without tracking off too bad, Virginia's a 3.5 favorite over North Carolina. Is Mac done after this season?
Yeah, he's going to retire. He has to retire, right?
Yeah. Dan Narva says there's definite flaky side to Rutgers. Unpredictable is a better word. Yeah, Corey Hogue was a big Rutgers guy when he was on the show with us. I think his
wife's from Jersey.
Yeah. And so last one I'll ask you about, Jeremy, and I let me see who I took on this one, but you'll probably, if I know you well, you'll kind of feel the same way I do about this. Ohio State, they are giving Nebraska 25 and a hook. I like Ohio State in it. I think they catch steam this week. I don't know what Matt Rule's they've trended off since they beat Colorado in a way. They haven't been that spectacular.
Yeah, their backs are against it, but I'm still taking Ohio State.
To cover the 25.5?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay, Cincinnati beat Arizona State last week, 24-14.
Yeah, that's what it was. It wasn't a blowout, but they did blow somebody out a couple of weeks ago. If you got their schedule still up.
Well, I'm just going week by week in the Big 12. God,
yeah,
I'm doing that.
Let me effort that. All right. Miami, Florida State. Miami's a 21-point favorite over the Noles.
They beat UCF 2 weeks ago, 19-13.
I thought Cincinnati had a blowout somewhere.
They beat Houston 34-0.
Maybe that was it.
And they lost to Tech 44-41.
Yeah. Okay. So once again, my dementia kicks in, and I get confused.
Cincinnati's 5-2. I was not familiar with their game.
Yeah, I knew they had kind of made a comeback, and then you had UCF giving. It was Colorado that destroyed UCF down in Tampa, is what it was.
Yeah,
what I was thinking of.
And looking at the Big 12 standings, UCF is right in front of Houston, and Oklahoma State is 0-4 in conference.
Yeah, they are. Speaking of that, West Virginia is a 3.5. 3-point favorite over 3-point dog to Arizona. Neil Brown out of there after this season.
Yeah. He doesn't have that Oklahoma win at the end of the season to save his job, so I think he's probably done.
Who do you got? Texas A&M and LSU.
Let me find that pick. Okay, I took Texas A&M because it's a 2.5-point game and it's at Kyle Field.
Yeah, I'm Bayou Bengals all day on that one. Does Missouri make it a game at Tuscaloosa?
They'll make it a game for a while.
Yeah.
I don't think Alabama's defense is all that good, but Missouri just doesn't have the firepower right now.
Sure. All right, let's move on to some other stuff. College football is just really depressing right now. But, Jeremy, you've got reason to be optimistic, and that would have to do with a 102-87 win by the Oklahoma City Thunder on their opening night in Denver against former star point guard Russell Westbrook.
The
And
fewest points Denver has ever scored with Jokic and Murray playing. Tied for the fewest.
Yeah. Chet Holmgren, 25 points, 14 rebounds. He had 4 blocks. SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 28 points. Also, Wiggins off the bench with 15 points.
Saving basketball.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Jeremy. OKC didn't shoot well. They shot terrible from three-point, but Denver shot worse. They were out-rebounded by 8. They didn't shoot well from the line, and they lost the points in the paint. How did they end up winning that one so well, so big?
They defended the hell out of guys on the floor. I mean, they held Denver to 35.7% shooting and 18% from 3.
Yeah. Charles Barkley had a little bit to say about it last night on Inside the NBA. Let's go ahead and hear from him.
How long?
Nope.
They addressed getting Caruso but then getting Harden. Like, we need a bigger body for for the Joker, for Anthony Davis, people like that. So, man, I don't think they go into the finals. I think they're going to win the world championship.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, you look at it, man. They have, off their bench, they have Caruso, who's all-NBA defender.
Mm-hmm.
Cason Wallace, who is his protege. They're plus 19 and plus 18 in the raw plus-minus, respectively. Usman Ding, plus 14 off the bench in 13 minutes. Scored 6 points. They have, and then Wiggins coming off the bench with 15 points. And this is on the road.
On the road, opening night.
On the road. In a tough place to play. They are, it's a more, and Isaiah Hartenstein ain't even playing yet.
No.
So it's big trouble for the Western Conference once that guy gets back. And Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, I mean, wow. You know,
earlier
he's like old man basketball, get in the lane, get in the paint, mid-range jumpers. You got to appreciate that,
mid-range jumper, baby.
Mid-range jumpers.
There you go, Connor, if you can find us.
Look like Uncle Drew out there.
Yeah. Here's the thing. That clip from Barkley was at halftime.
Yeah.
They had not really pulled away by that time.
No.
And he loved what he was seeing. He compared SGA to Kawhi Leonard in his prime, which I guess now Kawhi Leonard in his prime is 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Kawhi Leonard. And you want to hear something insane, Chuck?
Mm-hmm.
Oklahoma City owns the Clippers' first pick, and it's an unprotected pick. Kawhi might not play this year.
Oh.
The Clippers are going to be a hot mess in the lottery. And Oklahoma City is just going to get better.
Yeah.
The Paul George trade just keeps on giving. And Paul George, hell, he's playing for the Sixers now. Hasn't played yet.
I'm like, I forgot the track on the Paul George itinerary here, but I mean this all of this going on has so much to do with that. And man, you talk about a guy who's a wheeler dealer and really just shows his prowess in your face. I mean, in the last 10 years, it wasn't crazy about his first 10 years at times, but the last
he learned a lot from those first 10 years.
You can't go against Sam Presti. I mean,
no, he is a riverboat gambler.
Scared money don't make none.
Scared money don't make none.
It was a heck of a win, and man, people are just fired up, and that means probably the Thunder will go out and lay an egg.
well, that's the thing is, George wanted out.
Yeah,
and he just, Kawhi had so much leverage with the Clippers, which is historically a terrible organization, that they just gave everything to OKC for a guy that is a proven underperformer in the playoffs. I don't want to say choker. That's just awful because he did do that here. But
it's still a team sport.
Right. Well, 2 for 17 in an elimination game and refusing to take shots at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
he cost us Russ. So luckily, we got out of that trade, ended up with SGA, Dort, Holmgren. Jalen Williams is one of those picks. I
Well, that's
mean, just look at that roster.
yeah,
This is the
that's what I
roster
was
that
thinking of
Paul
last
George
night. Is
built.
like here's Barkley comparing SGA, and you think about the consistency that guy has brought in his seasons in Oklahoma City. I
It's
mean,
like you look at the stat sheet every morning, it's
it's 28
28,
points
30, 32, 5 and
exactly.
5.
And
Off of
I don't remember the big three having that. I mean, they were great, but I don't remember them having that kind of consistency.
KD did. KD was, man, he was like a true shooting 65% from the floor and
Yeah,
scoring
I mean,
30 a night.
and I guess that came out wrong. But there were nights when, like, maybe he didn't get the ball. It's maybe
Sure. Well,
I mean, this team, it's SGA's team, but man, he can really
they
distribute.
play make. They all play make.
Yeah,
And there's a system in place. Now, the old system under Scotty Brooks and Billy Donovan was my turn, your turn.
yeah.
ISO ball, hero ball, Russ take at this possession, KD over here. And it worked. It was great because those two guys were generational. But
Yeah.
once you got in the playoffs, it got shut down.
Well, you Thunder fans have a lot to look forward to, and it should be good once everybody gets healthy, I think. And he mentioned it's funny. Barkley was talking about Chet Holmgren and defending and getting bodied around. He said he's lighting the cakes.
He's lighting the cakes. But you know what? 25 and 14 last night
Then they
against
mentioned
Jokic.
Hartenstein, and this was at halftime. Like I said, then they mentioned Hartenstein, and he goes, "He's definitely not lighting the cakes."
Yeah, that guy gets back. Oh, and you failed to mention that the Chiefs just got better.
Well, okay, slow your roll there, bro.
Oh yeah, you got it. You got an itinerary.
We'll get to that in a second. Spurs lose 120 to 109 last night. Wemby was 17 points, 9 rebounds. Sohan and Harrison Barnes 18 and 17 apiece. Julian Champagne from St. John's University 18 points.
I'm gonna pull a page from your playbook. Is it time to fire Pop and just turn over the organization? It's been 2 years.
I mean, it's opening night. Here's the thing. There's a lot more cohesion. 2 years. There's a lot more cohesion on.
How much longer is Pop going to do it though?
He just needs. I'm sure Kamala wants him on her staff somewhere. So.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
but she has a staff.
Luka with 28 points. Klay Thompson 22 points for the Mavs, and the Mavs kind of look like they resumed where they were last season. Just now they've got another outside shooter, but
yeah. Not going to have to rely on Gary Payton Jr. You got Klay Thompson.
Exactly. And if he's put in that role where it's just like, bro, just hit some shots. I
go to the corner. I'll get you the ball.
Exactly. And so, but the 120-109 victory for the Mavs, they're all fired up about the Spurs team. They're still going to work out things and develop with Chris Paul coming into play. He did have some nice lob. I think at least one nice lob to Wemby, but
there is no better point guard that Wemby can play with right now than Chris Paul.
Yeah,
it really is not.
It will get better. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, they're obviously not the trajectory that the Thunder are or the Mavs are, but I would love to see the Spurs team, get into the playoffs and not just the play in, but the playoffs.
Well, they didn't have a borderline superstar they could fleece a bad franchise with,
Exactly. But no Vassell last night, so that would have helped too. But Dallas looks formidable in the West, and I don't think they're going anywhere. Luka's always going to get shots, and he's going to get calls, But anyways, the NBA gets started this week, and we were all so heartwarmed by the LeBron and Bronny showing on Wednesday night. I teared up, Jeremy.
Yeah. Can you imagine? The feeling that your kid can't play, but you got him on the biggest stage to
I'm
make
telling
an
you
absolute fool of himself.
The biggest blasphemy I saw all week was that Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. were there and took a picture with those two buffoons.
Yeah, Ken Griffey
is like, really, Ken?
Like, hold on a second. I seem to remember Ken Sr. being a really good ball player and his son being
better.
light years better than him.
Yeah. I mean, if anything,
That's not
Dad
the
was
same
kind of the
thing.
token on that deal. You know, his career
Yeah.
was
Dad got
starting
to hang around
late.
a couple extra years because of kiddo, but
Now it's the son. Maybe that just screams to the greatness of LeBron. I don't know.
Ken Senior was a good pinch hitter later in his career.
Sure. But
Yeah,
man, for Ken Griffey Jr. to be in any sentence with LeBron James Jr., wow.
must have been in the Diddy tapes, huh?
Oh,
Blackmail.
dang. Well, I wasn't I was worried about the copyright infringement. I'm worried about the cease and desist. So
Whatever that means.
anyway, football, pro football coming up this week, Jeremy, and my fantasy team got shellacked last week. I think it's Jeremy's Goons or Jacob's Goons, and I honestly think it's a Clinton assistant coach that went after me last year because I called a JV game a scrimmage mistakenly, and I don't know if he's in the league just to show me up or if he really wanted to join us. He's probably good friends with Marty Wandry, so that's great. But he hog walloped me last week, and is like, dang man. But Baker got me some points Monday night, but it wasn't enough. But the Bucks, man, if he doesn't have Mike Evans, what goes on in his brain? I mean, all those interceptions and
Well, one of those interceptions was directly, Mike Evans was directly responsible for it.
yeah.
Dropped that ball. I mean, that was a perfect throw.
I mean, there were some terrible ones after Evans went out.
Oh yeah. I mean, he tried to force a ball into Sterling
Yeah.
and didn't quite work
And
out.
each time they showed the replay, there's a wide open check down right there.
Yeah. Well, you can't check it down from the 5. Anyways.
Well, I'm just saying there. One of the picks was out near midfield, and it was like
the first
he tried
pick
to fit it into a window with 3 defenders, and 5 yards short of those 3 defenders is a guy wide open. I mean,
Yeah. The first pick,
he didn't make those mistakes.
He stared at his guy in the corner, and the safety he deked him.
Yeah.
It looked like he was covering someone else, and he just popped out at the last second.
Yeah.
He's thrown 5 picks this year.
Yeah.
Maybe we shouldn't take him out back and shoot him yet.
Well, no, but I mean,
he's got Godwin. Remember, Godwin broke his leg too.
Sure,
he lost 2 receivers.
Yeah, and I'm just saying. I mean, obviously, a lot of quarterbacks are a lot better when they have Mike Evans.
Oh yeah, especially that Brady guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He's still got Cade Otton, the tight end. He made some plays. Maybe Sterling will be able to step up a little bit. Hopefully, when's the deadline pass? Trade deadline.
But Falcons are coming to Tampa this week. They're 2.5-point favorites. All right, go ahead and start your victory lap, because now it's all but sealed that the Chiefs will win their 4th Super Bowl, third
Super Bowl in a row, and 4th in 6 years.
Yeah.
Picked up DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
For a song.
Yeah.
A 6, it could be a 4.
Tennessee was obviously going nowhere. They had Mason Rudolph starting last week. I don't know. Kareem Hunt has been a great addition back. If he stays out of trouble.
Pop Pacheco's is starting to run again, so he's 2 or 3 weeks out.
Kelsey's done absolutely nothing for me on my fantasy team.
Yeah.
I hate him.
Juju should be healthy here pretty soon.
What was that line from Godfather 2 where the senator tells Michael, "You and your whole effing family"? That's how I view Kelsey.
And they're talking that Hollywood Brown could be back for the playoffs.
That would be a welcome addition.
If you start the playoffs with Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, and Hopkins, with Juju as your possession guy, and hopefully a in-shape Travis Kelce, formidable.
That 12th man, obviously a big benefit to the Chiefs as well.
Oh my God! Don't start that. Don't start that.
You gotta say that those videos that they clipped.
Yeah, they're clipped exactly
before the snap. Pass interference on the
yeah.
If it weren't true, it wouldn't be so funny.
Oh my God.
Here's the thing, and we'll get it. We'll delve off into officiating before we pick anything, pro wise. Officiating is just awful on every level.
Yeah, the Rams get all the calls.
The Rams, wow! Last night, of course, that I swear that was a makeup call, Jeremy, because they missed a pretty blatant face mask. I think on they missed a blatant face mask that would have given.
So, oh, okay. So we're going to protect the quarterbacks unless it's a makeup call. Then rip
But
his head
I'm
off.
just
We don't
saying,
care.
I'm not.
Just
I
twist that
didn't.
thing off like a
I
bottle
didn't put a
cap.
moral pinpoint on either one. Hey, John Workman checking in says I'm pretty impressed with Noah Gray.
Yeah, Noah Gray's been playing really well. They just oh, the defensive back Watson,
Mm-hmm.
he got hurt. He's going to be out for a little bit. I think it's Watson. I don't know. Maybe John can throw that on there. But man, the defense is really good. Add playmakers. Maybe Mahomes can finally get over that 1-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio.
They're still
Guys
without,
getting his. What's
they're
that?
still without Charles Omenihu,
Yeah, I mean, who should be?
ACL.
Yeah, he should be back.
Yeah,
I want to
Jalen
say
Watson, lower leg
Jalen
injury.
Watson. Yeah, he had an ankle
Yeah,
something.
it just says I just see lower leg injury.
Yeah, lower leg injury.
They've got a lot on the IR, Jeremy, and,
Mhm.
and Omenihu's on the pup list. Man, that is a bang up list of injuries.
Yeah, but you got Chris Jones and you
Mhm.
got the Reaper.
Yeah,
And as long as 15 is on 2 feet, you got a shot.
yeah, they do that. Raiders go into it Sunday night or Sunday afternoon without Mason Crosby. No,
They're starting Aiden O'Connell again.
yeah, they are.
Has there ever been a more moribund franchise than what the Raiders have turned out to? I mean, they are getting to levels of sadness of the
Well,
Cleveland
it's about
Browns
to
and the New
turn,
York
Jeremy,
Jets.
because I saw Tom Brady sporting the sporting the Davis signature haircut.
Yeah, that was great, right?
Cowboys, what a mess they are, and just it never really stops for them. They just
It doesn't.
they cannot.
A team that lost in the playoffs last year, they go all in. All they do is lose pieces. They don't really add anybody. And lo and behold, they're worse this year.
Well, and there's some dissent in the building as well as they're
There should be.
basically
There should have been the last 20 years.
yeah.
That's a franchise that hasn't won anything in 30 years, 29 years, 1995. And we know why the only reason they won that year.
Because they sold their soul to the devil.
Barry damn Switzer, that's why.
Damn Switzer.
Damn
Damn it.
Texas.
Beat Texas. No, I think San Francisco will handle them pretty
Oh,
handily.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
San Fran's giving them 4.5. I like that all day.
Well, the only reason that Kansas City beat them last week is because of injuries. Like, you want to compare lists? You wanna do that?
Yeah. Philly goes to Cincinnati. Bengals are a 3-point favorite in that. It would be interesting and maybe they've met previously. I haven't kept up, but that's a rematch of the 2020 Chick-fil-A Bowl between Jalen Hurts and Joe.
Oh yeah. I don't think that Cincinnati will score 70 points in that game. I'm just going to throw that out there.
You talk
Whatever
about
whatever the over is, take the under.
47.5 is the over under.
The Bengals are not playing good football this season.
Yeah.
And the Eagles haven't really been great either.
It's funny that, I mean, the 2019 national champion LSU Tigers were truly an all-timer, and it was just an amazing amass of talent at really all over the field. But Jalen took a beating for how bad, and the OU defense for how bad they got trounced. Well, that team trounced just about everybody except I think Texas hung with them for 4 quarters.
Well, there was there were injuries. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That team was generationally great.
Yeah.
The best offense since Sam Bradford's offense.
Well, the best team overall
Yeah.
since '01 Miami. And there's people that will debate that. But when you get into the
Give me
NFL,
0-1 Miami by a touchdown.
yeah, I'd probably. I mean, of course, you got the quarterback,
Ken Dorsey.
Ken Dorsey. Why did I want to say Rex Grossman? He was at Florida.
Yeah.
You had Dorsey at quarterback. Nobody was really a big fan of him, but I mean, he did what he needed to do.
He was adequate, man. There was so much talent in that field. I just remember watching them in 2000 playing their bowl game, before OU played Florida State.
Yeah,
And
they were Sugar
thinking,
Bowl against Florida.
good Lord,
Yeah.
there is so much speed on that field. I don't ever want to see my team play them.
No, and I was pretty pissed at who's the big waterhead tight end from Ada,
Shockey.
In the second U 30-30 or 30-30 the U. He said, "Yeah, I was friends with guys on that 2000 OU team. They said they did not want to play us." Well, I don't believe that. I mean, it came down to a field goal with a team that OU shut out that season.
That's true. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that was
anyways,
back when the boys were on top of their game, the Stoops boys and BB.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they would have game planned a way to stop that Miami offense, but it was a lot of talent, even regardless, and really, probably a team that should have had a chance to shoot for a three-peat throughout that time.
Definitely,
because they lose on the bogus interference call against Ohio State,
and then Larry Coker was done. Larry Coker.
Hey, real quick. Hey. Speaking of baseball,
hey Norm,
there is a World Series. If the moon was made out of cream cheese,
oh my God, how can you not be romantic about baseball? The teams with the two highest payrolls in the sport are playing for it all, man.
Well,
I mean, my heart's all aflutter. I need to go watch some Jeff Pearlman videos now.
If
baseball is just
goes
amazing.
7, oh, your rants are hilarious. If this series goes 7, how many games out of it do you think LA uses nothing but relievers?
How many games does Ohtani pitch?
Oh yeah, get that guy on the mound. He's
kidding.
I just want to see Stanton and Judge flail.
I want to see Shohei Ohtani hit balls, on the L trains in New York.
Yeah,
I
want to be off. And I think, to me, Jeremy, the deciding factor of any series we've seen over the last 6 years, one player.
Yep,
you guessed it, Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts. I'm so. Oh my gosh, I was really rooting for the Royals to get there.
Yeah,
they just, their generational talent didn't generational talent in that series, but he's a rookie.
Oh yeah,
he'll get there.
Talking about Witt?
Yeah, Witt Jr.
Yeah, Witt Jr. Garrett Cole starting tonight for the Yankees, and Jack Flaherty starting for the Dodgers. So
does that just? I mean, like, God, yeah, I remember watching Garrett Cole pitch for my Astros. Does that just break your heart a little bit that now he's with the evil empire?
Just think he started.
It's like what? Every time I see Anthony Rizzo come to the plate, I just want to throw up.
Just think Cole started his career at Pittsburgh. Look how far he's come.
I know, right?
Hey, best troll of the week, as I see on CBS Sports. Vanderbilt has established netting in front of the visitor. Now, I guess it's not true. I guess it's a fake. But if that were the case, it would be the best. Putting netting in front of the Texas fans.
They should do that. They should so do that. I mean, that would be incredible. Just amazing if they would do. Why don't they do that?
So it's not a real story, if I remember right.
No, but they should get the Corps of Cadets at Vandy to get their swords and hang around the Texas student section.
Heck yeah,
start lopping off hands when they got stuff in them.
We'll dress up as one,
like Texas A&M.
Who you got tonight, World Series wise?
Give me the Yankees.
In L.A.
Oh, it's in L.A.
I'll lie.
Let's see who's going for the Dodgers. You
Flaherty.
said it. Flaherty. I know the Dodgers. The Dodgers staff's been hurt.
Okay, that's why I asked the question. How many games will they have where they go all relievers?
I mean, Cole. You got Garrett Cole, who's been in this spot how many times now?
Oh yeah.
Give me the Yankees. I hate them. But then again, I hate both teams. So
Well, after calling Dodgers
Yankees.
baseball for Oklahoma City, I would probably lean towards Ally. Speaking of, I think I saw a
Doyers.
poll. I saw a poll that said what should the Oklahoma City baseball team nickname be? And there
89ers.
89er. The options were 89ers, Bison, Scissor Tails.
I don't mind the Bison and Scissor Tails.
No Scissor Tail.
Why?
Too
Why?
much.
We have Orioles, we have Cardinals,
Too much
have
connotation with that deal.
oh my God.
Yeah, oh my God is right, but I'm right. But anyways,
How about the Oklahoma City Indigenous Peoples?
I was going to say find something politically correct
Sure.
to reflect the native.
Man, you know what? Just if it was never broke, they should have never fixed it. 89ers.
I personally had no problem with Red Hawks.
I didn't either, but 89ers.
Yeah.
Do it.
One thing about the 89ers is what will spark up from that because it's the big land run.
Land run. Well, I mean, we still have the Sooners. The woke students in Norman couldn't get that changed.
Bastards.
Dang it.
What do you got going this weekend? You're obviously going to be catching some OU football, and then
Watch the bad football tomorrow, then hopefully watch some good football later in the day. Yeah, that's right, Dan. 89ers all the way.
Yeah. Dan
Other than
Narva
that,
from
not a
Michigan
whole
checking
lot.
in.
Not a whole lot.
We'll have to work on our transition to YouTube as our wonderful super fans, Steve Anderson, Dan Narva, and John Workman have been the ones that have checked in. But I was so ready for this, Jeremy. I'm just so tired of the Z-Man and his platform and just all of that mess. And
Oh yeah, this is the first time in weeks I haven't had to refresh
it has
just
to
to
be
keep the
something.
comments going.
Yeah, I think so, and it's pretty nice, and we'll get there. People will make their way over, and then we'll also preserve this video to be able to for people to see it on the YouTube channel, and also the link on our Facebook pages, as well as Twitter, X, and Instagram.
And guys, hey, make sure that when you're on here, thanks for coming. We appreciate every one of you. Make sure you like.
Yeah.
Make sure you're subscribed.
Subscribe.
Get the algorithm going. Get us out there.
Yeah, and I found out some tips from my video producer for Weatherford football. The shorts that I clip and put on there, those help out a bit also. So we'll try to grow from two random dudes on the internet.
I did see the Oklahoma levels of incompetence last night by Pitt. Kyle McCord. What can you say?
Man,
Never has one guy had it so good and decided I want to go somewhere else than Kyle McCord.
Well, and I mean, when you throw 5 picks and 3 are for pick sixes, that's I would take.
Man, that's Trent Dilfer levels of incompetence.
I just say, guys, I don't feel good.
No, I
think I'm coming
can't
down
see.
with the blue.
I love those Pitt uniforms so much. I just want them to have the football.
Yeah. Pitt's kind of man. There are some.
Is Narduzzi the coach there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's doing a heck of a job. They're having a good season.
Well, I mean, here's 3 teams that I'll throw out at you, Jeremy, that have a chance to really prove out some stuff. Illinois, Indiana, and Pitt. There were 3 teams I would have not had on my radar back in August.
Yeah. I mean, we love Bielema. I mean, he's just he looks like if you created a Big Ten coach in a lab.
Oh, he was so
it's
perfect
Brett
in
Bielema.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, and Indiana. I mean, what an inspired hire bringing in a guy that he's a little older, but he's won everywhere else. It worked out for Kansas for a hot minute.
Yeah.
Magic has kind of Dan, those Pitt unis, those retro, the actual yellow and royal blue. Oh, just gorgeous. Love
For
them.
anybody just tuning in, Jeremy and myself and many of our fans are true uniform helmet nerds. So, and speaking of, your hat is pretty cool that you're wearing today.
This is the, I want to say, 2018 City Edition.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City Thunder. It's one of the good new era hats that doesn't have too much going on with it. So
yeah,
it's a good fit.
It's a nice looking hat. You're hiding those wonderful locks you have, but
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, I hire you for one reason, and that's eye candy, and you let me down. So thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
Sorry.
I want to see those. I want to see those. I want to see those Jimmy Garoppolo locks hanging down.
Maybe next week. I need a haircut.
Get a haircut. All right. As we start to wane out of here, just like I said, so much going on. And, I'm happy for your Chiefs getting a receiver of some quality. There's talk about what he's got left in the tank. He'll find his groove pretty quick.
Well, there's a lot to be said about motivation and inspiration being
sure.
a factor in play.
Yeah. Well, and he's, could you have found a better spot?
No, I mean, and he was truly great at one time. He doesn't have to be truly great. He's just got to catch a daggum ball when it's thrown to him.
For sure. All right. Well, we probably better start getting our way out of here, Jeremy. But, man, it sure is a lot of fun doing the Weekend Big Show here with you. And I don't know. We'll be watching a lot of football tomorrow. I golfed on Monday. I'd like to, if that game is pretty much toast by about noon, like it was last week, I may just have to head out to Romano's and get on the links a little bit. Hit some balls.
Yeah, to go out there and hit some balls, listen to Toby, and
maybe
snap an 8-iron over your knee.
But anyways, are we doing college football wrap up tomorrow night?
Absolutely.
All right, so tune in at 9:00 tomorrow night here on YouTube, and we'll share links to that and try to get everybody steered over again. It should be a good night to be on after a day of college football. But anyways, Jeremy, thanks again, and it's always great to visit with you.
All right, thank you.
He's Jeremy Schroeder, ruler of the airways. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. This is the Weekend Big Show. You can catch it at your convenience on our SoundCloud, Spotify, Amazon, or Apple Podcast pages. This video will also be uploaded to YouTube at Law Dog Sports. Leave us a message on our website, lawdogsports.com, and give us a follow on Facebook, Twitter, X, and Instagram. Be safe out there. Don't text and drive, and sure don't drink and drive, and we'll talk to you real soon.